Hey guys, do you want a WR250R? Well, that's something to think about. And in my opinion, you want every bike, at least to try it for a while. But it's got its pros and its cons. Obviously, you've probably heard them all before, but here's my 2 cents. I do love the bike. It's incredibly reliable, incredibly durable. It's got a really plush suspension, meaning that if you're maybe even older or you just don't want to get beat up, you can suck up a lot of hits with the suspension. You know, it's got a good reputation. Now the rear end has a little bit of a reputation for being a little springy and might buck you off, but you know, if you're pinching your legs really well and you set it maybe to the limits so that you don't get that rebound, I think you'll be fine. But some people are modifying them. Haven't had the need, but I have seen it buck a little bit. But I was kind of on a motocross track, which I shouldn't have been on there. I was just goofing around with it. But overall, I like the bike. It's got that FMF on it. I bought it with that. I bought it basically mint. It's a 2010. It had like 1,800 miles on. The thing was basically brand new with everything that you see on it, this FMF. And I don't know if I'm a huge fan of that. It makes it a little louder, which I didn't really want to be loud because I'm riding sometimes in areas that I don't want to disrupt neighbors or draw any attention. But it's a great bike. And why is it great? The big juicy suspension is a huge part of it. The reliability. It's just friendly. It's like a donkey. I mean, yeah, it's not overly exciting in terms of power. I mean, I don't know if you can mod it up to get some real power out of it, but I think we all dream of the day that they just make the WR450F into a WR450R, completely street legal like this, and try to keep the weight under like 275. I have to say this thing's kind of oddly heavy. It's about 295, maybe, with fuel. Yeah, I think with fuel. It seems a little heavy for what it is, and therefore it does seem a little sluggish. Now, when you ring it out, as they've said, and you just whoop this thing, she can start to show you some real power on the upper end. She'll start spinning that wheel and kind of going like a crazy girl. But other than that, she's steady. She's good for crawling through slow, rocky spots. But she's tall, and so I'm 5'10", 165 pounds. When you're crawling through that real rocky stuff going 2 miles an hour, a mile an hour, and you're trying to trials it in a sense through there, you feel like you're way above those rocks. So if you make a mistake, you're falling a long way. Riding a what do you call it, TTR 230, you're flat-footed at my height, 5'10", and you can handle going through those rocks, and you can put your feet down even on a really sharp incline and save your ass. This thing, you better keep your momentum and keep going, suck up that those hits with that long front fork and keep on moving. Because she's heavy, you don't want to pick her up. Because of that long suspension, as you can see, the leverage, when you do go to pick her up, those long suspension works against you because it really keeps that weight in a physically awkward position, picking her up, and especially soft sand or something like that, because the wheels will slide out from underneath you and give you quite the wrestling match. But at 295. So, but I do like the bike a lot. Yeah, she's a little bit unexciting in the power arena, but she's incredibly reliable, like I said. And I would definitely say get one if you have the opportunity to get one at a good price. A lot of times you can find one if you keep hunting at a great price. I put new tires on her, and that was the only thing I've added to it. And I had to do the fuel pump. The fuel pump, I think it had a reputation for heating up in these years and kind of stalling out and not running. But if you let it cool down, she'd start back up and get you home. So you might have to wait an hour for it to cool down, but she would get you home. Or if you don't shut it off, you're fine. But overall, I do like the bike a lot. I'd like to try something, maybe like that new Honda, what is it, CR450 RL, something like that. Now, obviously, it would be nice if they put this 450 power into that bike, like I mentioned. There's nothing like a 450 when you want to have some puddle hopping power without having to jerk your shoulders off. You can just twist the throttle. If you're trying to hop a puddle with this, you're going to need a lot of shoulder jerk and just the right timing and traction to get her up. But and that goes for hopping over logs and things like that too. She just doesn't have the grunt unless you really have her on the upper end and you know how to control that higher RPM pops or what have you. Anyway, that's my 2 cents. I do like the bike. Again, what else is there to say about her? I got it at a steal of a price, so I couldn't pass it up. So sometimes a lot of guys ask too much for them, and so, you know, used ones. But if you're patient and make the right offer, you could get a great deal on one of these. Good luck with that. Enjoy it if you get one. Let me know what you guys think.